So this is a new series I'm doing called Bond Basics. If you guys didn't check out the first video I did, I pretty much went over how to do how to calculate the price of a bond. You will need to understand that in order to do this part. So I will link that in the description, or it will also be in the corner above, and I will also include all of these videos I do inside of a playlist. So it can make it a little bit more easier to access those videos because you may need one video to understand another video. Okay, so the problem we have for you today, this is a falling slash rising rate bond. It's pretty easy. It's pretty simple. We should run through it very quickly. So let's just get straight to it. All right. So now let's just get straight into the problem. Okay. So oops. Okay. So since it is 2 years after the 10-year, it was 2 years into the 10 years, so 2 years after. So now we just have 8 years left. So what would the bond sell for if the interest rate fell? So instead of putting 10 for a year for the maturity time, we're just going to put 8 because that's how much we have time remaining. And then you just want to divide that by 2 since it is, or I'm sorry, times that by 2 since it is semi-annual. So we should get 16. Next, you just want to put $1,000 for the FV. And now for our coupon rate of 10%, you just want to take the coupon rate and put that up as the percentage of the par value. So 10% of $1,000 is 100, which is the same as payment, because that's how much we're going to make each year for interest, or as holding the bond. So $100, and don't forget to divide that by 2 since it is semi-annual. So you get 2 payments a year of $50, which will equal to that $100 or 10% of that par value. So next, you just want to put our yield or interest, which is 6%, and you want to divide that by 2 since it's semi-annual. So we should get 3%. Next, we just have to find our PV. So that was the point of the problem. At what price would the bond sell? So now you just want to come over to your calculator. Now, for those of you who don't have a finance calculator, you can just get the free app. It's called BA Calc. It's in the App Store and the Google Play Store. It's free. I know a lot of professors allow you to use your phone to save on the cost of buying an actual finance calculator, but yeah, it's free. So just go and download it, and it'll help you a lot versus doing it the long way on a scientific calculator. So if you've never used one of these before, you want to hit the number. You want to type in your numbers before hitting the corresponding function. And also, it doesn't matter which order you input this information, just as long as the information is correct. Okay, so you just want to put 16 for N, 1,000 for FV, 50 for payment or PMT, 3 for the yield. So next, you just want to hit enter, and then hit compute, and then hit the function that we're finding. So PV. So, and then we should get our answer. So the bond will sell for $1,251.22. So easy peasy, very simple. I know it looks like a lot, but it's really easy. Okay, now to the second part of the problem. Suppose that 2 years after the initial offering, the going interest rate had risen to 12%. At what price would the bond sell? So it's just like it's the exact same format. The only thing that you will be changing is the PV and the yield. So with that being said, let's just get right into it. All right, so N again equals 8 times 2, which should get you 16. FV will still be the same. caps, which would be 1,000. The payments will still be the same, which is 100. Then you divide that by 2, you should get 50. So as far as yield, again, you want to change this up. So instead of 6% or 3% semi-annually, it will be 12%, since it risen to 12%. And then divide this by 2, and then we should get 6. And then we're looking for price. So we'll come back to our calculator and enter all of the numbers again. So 16 for N, 1,000 for FV, 50 for payment, 6 for yield, and then enter, compute, click PV, and then the bond will sell for 898.94. So again, easy peasy. It's very easy. We just changed that one thing up, and we got the new price. So now let's just get to the final part of the question. Oops. Okay, so now we're on C. So this wasn't originally part of the problem. I added it on because I believe it would be a good transition to the final part of the basic bond series, which is callable bonds, yield to call, and then yield to maturity. So I did add some information. I added the price of the bond, and then I added the par value of the bond at the time of call. So we're going to calculate this first, as if it was not callable at 5 years. You're just going to calculate it as if it matured within the whole 10-year period, and then we're going to do it callable at 5 years, so you can see the comparison between the two yields. So just like before, just want to start off with the basic information. So N will equal 10 times 2, so we should get 20. FV, we're just going to take it from this problem. So FV will equal 1,000 bucks. Let's just take the par value from the original problem, and then compare at the new price of the bond called. Because when the bond was originally issued, the par value was 1,000, but it's callable at 1,050. So when showing the comparison between the two, I just want to ensure that we get kind of more of a clearer picture of the new price or the new yield if the bond was callable or if the bond isn't callable, if that makes sense. So FE equals 1,000 from the original problem. We're going to keep payments the same as $50 semi-annually or $100 annually. So we're going to divide that by 2. We should get 50 again. Let me just put some space here. Okay. Next is PV. So our PV here is 1,100. And since the original problem didn't give us the interest rate or the yield, we can just solve it from here, and it still makes sense. So then we're just going to have to find the yield. So IY is what we're looking for. So we're going to come back over to our calculator, and input the information. So 20 for N, 1,000 for FV, 50 for payment, 1,100, and don't forget to put the negative when entering PV, or so 1,100, negative 1,100 PV, enter, compute IY, and we should have a yield of 4 point, you can round it up to 5%, and then always remember to times that back by 2. Since it's in semi-annual format, you want to bring it back to an annual basis. So this should equal 8%. Boom. So now we're going to find the price at which the bond is callable. So annual equals 5, since it's callable in 5 years, times that by 2, we should get 10. Our new FV, since the bond is callable in 5 years at a price of $10.50. So the bond is callable at a price of 5 years with a par value of $10.50. Our payments remain the same at $50 semi-annually. And then our PV remains the same at 1100. Oops. So now we're going to find our yield again. So come back over to our calculator and enter the new information. So instead of 20 for N, we're going to put 10. So I hit 10 N, 1050 for FV or par value, 50 for the payment, 1100, and don't forget to put the negative sign for the PV. Okay, then hit enter, compute, click the yield, and we should get a rate of 4.17% if we round it up. And don't forget to times that by 2, and we should get an annual rate of like 8.34%. Okay, so which reminds me, this is 8.5%. Sorry about that for the original one. Okay, so now that we're done, this is the answer right here. I'm highlighting in yellow. So if the bond was callable in 5 years, we will have a yield to maturity of 8.34% versus if the bond wasn't callable and we just held it the entire 10 years, we would have a yield to maturity of 8.5%. So, I mean, since you're taking on less risk due to a time factor, you're going to have a lower rate or a lower yield to maturity versus if you held the bond in an additional 5 years, you would get a higher maturity. Not by that much. It's really like 2.4% or 0.24%. But I don't know. To me, I'll take, if the bond was callable, I'll pull my money out and go on to other investments. But for a bond to kind of have a yield to maturity at this price, this is not bad. There are some good benefits to bonds, so I can see why people want to be in them. But yeah, this is pretty much it for this. Hopefully this made sense. We did as if we held it for 10 years. This would be the, again, yield to maturity, because the original problem didn't give us, if I go back up to it, it didn't give us the interest rate or the yield to maturity. So we just had to come up with it on our own by either going up based off the other problems or just inputting information. Also, this is also a good exercise if you can come up with your kind of like your own problems and plug in your own kind of like numbers. So this is it. Hopefully this helps. Let me know if you have any questions about this, or I can kind of explain anything more in depth. If you guys like the video, please leave a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification every time I upload. And if you guys want to kind of like follow me on social media, you guys can go to my Instagram and Twitter. Those will be available down in the description. And if you know anyone that needs this or this to help somebody, please share this video. My goal is to help as many people as I can not only do their homework for their business courses, but also make some sound investment decisions as they mature in age, or as they start getting into investments, and whether it's short term or long term, or stuff like that. So again, let me know. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video.